Hey everyone, welcome to this event. My name is Marshall Jamel. It's around 7:20 or so. And it's beginning this program with a performance. And this performance is part of a drumming language that I started calling Ebonics Native Land Acknowledgement. And that's the reason for this event, is a way that I started looking at the 1996 Ebonics debates here in Oakland, and like watching the debates and reading testimonies and like thinking like, well, what if those scholars were also standing with Native cultural and language preservationists in Oakland schools, so that kids were also gaining access to Native languages and preservation. And of course, like imagining opportunity that other like ethnic groups and cultural, and there was a multicultural cadre in those meetings. So I'm thinking about like, hit and miss opportunities for intercultural like solidarity, which is like being in each other's stories, being at the edge of each other's stories, which someone used to say, but also showing up for people in these times. Sometimes we don't always ask for help, or seek. So in terms of presenting the land acknowledgement, also, so in the course of my work is looking at what I call Black amnesia and Indigenous justice, which points to like how we've been integrated into society, and also looking at our perspectives on underground railroad history and other history, which often excludes like native cooperation, and investigating the Underground Railroad tourist industrial complex, in the East Coast in Canada, with historians, it occurred to me that places unlike Underground Railroad sites, in churches or someone's basement, you can't through the history, we just got like fugitives were running through the wildernesses of the United States, and they're in places like fields and swamps that can't be commodified, if you will, in the Underground Railroad, because they don't really exist, and they kind of shouldn't exist, shouldn't be on maps. It's just that some of the absence of history does not make it history. So in the course of this investigation of the Underground Railroad and the tactile media, which is like the images and such, some of my explorations have brought me to New Mexico and looking at the native revolts that happened before the transatlantic slave trade actually happened. So tonight we're going to, I want to introduce you to our program, and then there's some key folks here in the room who come to support this work, and just want to just lay down what we're going to do, and cool. So I'm happy to see representatives from various cultures and parts of the world here today. I believe that like more events like this can help us understand what acknowledging Native land is. It's actually something that I experienced more in Canada, traveling as an artist. So, I'm saying that it's a formal statement that recognizes the history and the legacies of colonialism that impacted indigenous peoples, their traditional territories and practices. according to a variety of sources, a land acknowledgement should say this territory of Huichin-speaking peoples, part of the stolen land of the Chochenyo Muwekema.
Sorry. It's actually our Moral Square statement, which is actually our I guess not only mission, but our manifesto. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Our manifesto. So you see, it talks about who we want to our comrades, and how we want to tangibly change the world through performing towards governments, in a way. But it's sort of like a manifesto. And so we have ongoing lifelong transmedia script, and performing towards farmers. Basically, anybody who participates as an artist or a creator as part of the script is also protected with this copyright license. Anyway, so we played with the idea of an artist activist machine that uses art to have the ability to actually empower the artists and the creators rather than those who extract data from us, usually who in a way enslaving us, right? So you can, so that's what I'm going to say about that. But we have, the last thing I'm going to say about that is that we have we started the front as well, and we're actually curating some of the programs that embody the ethos of performing throughout commons, such as this tonight, this program tonight, in a way, is part of this ethos of embodying the ideas of performing throughout commons, and also, anyway, that part also has the ability to support this kind of projects. Those projects are about co-creation, collaboration, and co-production. So as you can see, the idea is also that they reconnect the broken links between artists, institutions, and audiences, and empower the artists to become the catalyst for community empowerment. Anyway, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
So anyone have any questions on ProArts Commons or performing ProArts Commons? No? Okay, so one of the aspects of creating intellectual property is drafting a morals cause statement. And
experience it in that way, collectively with a bunch of other folks.
anything that, any article or line that popped up or any image?
Oh, there's too many to recall, but yeah, I mean, it's normally when you get when you learn about this, even in I think in an educational setting, I mean, it's really up to the student to really read the whole thing. But I mean, I've learned this in plenty of other classes where like it's you just get presented a document, you don't really read it through, and I think it's really important document to really think about what's being said and what's actually being implemented and all that. The history behind the document itself.
Yeah, so I don't know what people think of the United Nations and their power. I was introduced to this documentary, the Intercultural Leadership Fellowship, which it's a 10-year-old fellowship. We were part of their second cohort a few years ago. They're in their third cohort now. They took us to Lakota Territory, Hawaii, where I grew up, and Antonio, Texas, for immersive experiences. And in Lakota, they gave us the handbooks, which I carried around for like a year and it got destroyed. I carried it around for 2 years. It was the handbook the pocket-sized handbook to the Declaration, which gives you background information. Tonight, I just wanted to there's so many elements of this work tonight. I wanted to just give the community a chance to read it together, or we can also investigate it and investigate other things about this work together. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, was to breaking it down with people and performing political education. So I think I envisioned this happening a couple of years ago when I was in the territory. Anyone else have any thoughts or images that popped up? Anything about the language, like reading, like, yeah, these people should have the everyday rights that we have. And it's the first time anyone is reading anything like this? Okay, well, any comments on reading this together? Anyone else?
Yeah, I think it should be powerful idea.
How did it sound? Did it sound like when you're reading it, the act of reading it, did it sound like you were part of what you're reading? It's like worse than my.
I think it made me
Oh,
reflect on my role of like protecting and upholding those rights as like a member of like this worldly community, and like that building my awareness of those things, I think, and that like I think the collective experience of like reading it made me want to share like the document with other people and extend this experience.
So these are all for you. You know, I think of the gifts that were given from Indigenous people. This opportunity to acknowledge the land is one of their gifts to us. You know, it's a gift to us, and I think what strikes me is that goddamn have to state that these people have the right. You know, you have to write it down. You have to like enforce it. And I get choked up reading this actually because it's like it's us and it's them and it's just a reminder. It's a good reminder of all the different fights that are like invisibilized by like premieres of movies and other shit. And, like, you know, there's a lot of pain and a lot of poverty in some cases and a lot of you know, if you look at, it's a lot of human history and strife and reflection of our society that we take for granted in our everyday lives, are embedded in the need for this document. And so, as part of my work as a black person in the U.S., like Ebonics native land acknowledgement is like me playing some drums, starting the group up, but also, you know, talking about land acknowledgement as a part of my practice now, like, you know, like it's a part of, it's embedding itself into my voice. And so it's coming out in my drumming, and in the way that like my drum set is not like it's not like a regular drum set, it's not like a rock and roll machine, not a jazz machine, you know. So the idea is that when we play instruments, they're just instruments. And then we write whatever the hell we want to write with it. So, and in the way of playing my instrument, I feel in ways like transform the whatever grand, you know, factory-made thing, you know. So it becomes this tool for music and it, you know, transmitting beyond the boundaries of the stage. And so I really felt this was like musical, and I look forward to listening back to just your voices, and then and really thinking about it, and then doing however long that took. I need to like play that at, you know, upon 15. So so I want to thank you all for being here, and we're heading towards the end of our program tonight as we lock up. And maybe yeah, we have well, I don't know. I don't think we're going to play any music right now, but I think maybe I'll play back some of what we did. Is that? Right. So, the installation is going to happen at some point, and will that be here? Oh, okay. So yeah, 17th of September is a kind of auspicious time. That's this Friday. And then Saturday, the 18th, my exhibition, Indexical Momentum for Friends, where I use that Morals Clause statement at the Contemporary Jewish Museum in San Francisco begins. It's a 6-month sound installation. They got like 7 speaker systems, and they have 9 around the side, which I have facing outward. And the room that we're in is actually, it's really funny shaped. So we're gonna so I've asked this group called Conspiracy of Beards, which is an all-male Leonard Cohen-based choir. There's exhibitions on Leonard Cohen. So that show opens on the day after, on the 18th. That's the Saturday, and then on the 19th, I'm performing Ebonics Native Land Acknowledgement with the Conspiracy of Beards and some other poets and so forth. So if you look at the Jewish Museum website, so for my project, it will have the Conspiracy of Beards sound. They're all giving me their versions of Leonard Cohen songs and lyrics on phone, which I'm processing in a similar way in the space of the Yud space, which I have a huge track of their music, and I play it again and again and again. And then in that series, you'll be hearing that process, but every 20 minutes, if you walk in there, I'll be quiet. I'll be asking the public to participate while reading into their cell phone a Leonard Cohen poem within the space. And they'll send that to me. So that's a community database that we're developing, community-based archive. You have people who are generating this song, which are echoes from Leonard Cohen who's passed away. Then you have participants in the public who are echoing this stuff in the room, and then I'm making these echoes with these iterations. And then we have live sound that I've performed in that room, and I'm still collecting, and we're gonna operate the Meyer sound system. And so the idea is that, because I'm working with the Tactical Media, which is the Negro Spirituals and Underground Railroad, which are the spirituals and the quilt codes. Within the sound design map, I can both impose shapes from the codes, where the nodes are the speakers that go on and off in relationship to inputting sound. The idea is that when you're walking into the room, you're not only hearing these iterations, but then you're hearing them in patterns that are related to shapes from liberatory patterns from the U.S. That's some of the stuff. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Want to check out Art for New Understanding? It's a book by Candice Hopkins, one of the curator at the Toronto Biennial. She co-wrote this book about Native art. And I teach art now after school, so I brought in my books. And this book called Tipi that I got from Vancouver. Some African art book from Brooklyn Museum. The Black Book, you know what the Black Book is? The Black Book is a great community archive of all these images around Black people in the West, and some mass from Africa. Just some books I had around.
Probably. The only thing is the streets. It's not a very direct route, you know.
Let's see what it says.
Like I rode my bike from there. It took about 10 minutes on bike. So.
Okay, well, it's giving me some directions saying about the half an hour.
What about the lift? Do you want me to take your lift? A lift? Do you want me to take your lift?
I tried, but I came a little earlier.
Here?
Well, I don't do it.
Because I think people want to stand around.
Well, we thought it was really cool too. But you want to like cast in the 70s. So not for the native American situation is out. And so that was the 90s So that's why I really put like specific ones that stood out to me because I know there's even on the psychology, there's a guy that used to teach and he had some class, a field investigation, and he would take students out to this white guy that had like a ton of land and on that land there's a bunch of like new sites, like a ton, like thousands and thousands of sites. Crazy. And that was right outside of Canada. Like I was in that was like really close to right outside of Canada. There's like sites all throughout that area. And it's scary because people don't know that like it was really super populated. Like it wasn't sparsely populated, it was super populated. There's basically like there's all kinds of like certain communities, like thousands of huge villages and stuff. So it's really cool.
Thank you all very much.